Okay, it's looking a little dark, but oh, that one's brighter. I found the different camera angles to be, that's not good the way he's kind of in the corner and cut off there. I understand you wanted to get that image in there, but I just think you could try, think more about the camera composition. That's, yeah, all the camera angles are pretty similar. You might do something like, anyways, we can play with it in Maya, but um, let's just go take a look at Maya. So, you could do stuff like, have something like this in the foreground. Let's put on our gate and, you know, try to get him on like a third, like something like this would be a little bit more interesting, right? You have some foreground objects, you have the character on a third, you still got the wanted sign in there. Just an example. I kind of found the set to be pretty sparse. I feel like also I'm struggling with this table because this is an old West set, let's say 1880s or 1890s, and this table is like from the 1950s, so it looks very strange to have this kind of table here. Also, the poker chips and the cards are, outrageously oversized compared to the character. If we take a look, um, that's enormous compared to his hands. So I think you've got to work on the piano. Actually, keys are quite big too if you think about it. Like the piano key is greater than the length from his wrist to the tip of his finger, and I think they should be half that probably size. So I think you have to work on the proportions of things like the cards and the poker chips and the piano. I like that texture. I think you should replace this table with something that fits. It's pretty distracting. Also, the colorist kind of really jumps out. And also, this floor, I mean, again, this looks like, rather than boards that were actually nailed together, this sort of looks like a linoleum kind of fake wood sort of floor. And I would tend to say, like, if you were in the Old West, you probably weren't sourcing different kinds of lumber from far corners of the world. So I would think that the wood that made the walls would probably be, I guess, just more similar looking to the wood that you would find on the floor. Um, so I don't know. Yeah, I think just look at some reference for that and for things like the table, and maybe add some chairs, maybe some shelves with some bottles. It feels a little sparse, and I think you could draw more on reference to get a more accurate look to the setting. Um, and then just check the scale of things. I mean, also, the piano comes up to his shoulders almost when he's sitting down, and I would expect it to be more like at the height of a desk. So more like just kind of shifting that down. So the whole piano needs to be scaled down, I think. In general. Um, so yeah, looking at reference for things, both the textures and the look, and showing some construction. The wall is just one big flat surface, but maybe we see some support beams in the wall, maybe a window sill, window frame. This is a very wide pane separators. Those could be much more narrow. You could look at the images, in the other buildings as an example, or pull some additional reference. So yeah, just really studying some reference and basing it off that would be much better.